Welcome back to Bame Farm. We're working on beans today. It is November 27th. No, it's a Monday. It's the last Monday in November 2017. And we are making a nice dust cloud that's blowing away today. Now this is for everybody in the last bean harvest video where it's getting dark. And a few people want to know how early it gets dark. It's by about 5 o'clock it's dark, 5:30, it's really dark. No, we're about 1:30 or so in the afternoon. Now, I got Dad started here. This is a field everybody saw Brad plant. This is the first field of beans he planted. And its future is up in the air, unfortunately, because this is a very flat field. The owners were worried about drainage. The neighboring farmer made big promises that he could fix it. Which, if the neighboring farm over here, you know, cuts his ditches properly, I can come in with a surface ditcher and ditch it. Now he no-tilled, and we do full tillage. And we're going to take a little examination of that. I mean, you see we left these ruts. Yesterday, it took us, we harvested like 2.5, 3 acres, and it took us 4 or 5 hours, because we were cutting ruts worse than this. We were belly deep with the combine. I mean, we had to bring the tent over. I brought the tent over to pull wagons back over. And we got stuck. The combine bottomed out in the mud. And that was probably about as deep as we chisel plowed. The field was absolute muck. Like, there were points in the field where the tires were spinning and mud was coming up in front of the tire. So not like they were being pushed out the side, but the tires clawing and coming out the sides of the bar treads. It was just being pushed up. It was that soft and swampy. Oh, so it's like one of those fields I need to plant super short season so I can harvest it while it's still dry at the end of September, hopefully. And we're dumping very often, keeping the combine light. It's, you know, not the most efficient thing, but it's 60 degrees right now in late November. We got good drying weather. The beans are testing on our moisture tester in the 13s. I was getting absolutely, well, chewed out at the grain elevator last week for bringing them beans that were testing 17.5 or higher. I think our moisture tester has issues. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions and say they're wrong. I mean, I'll admit maybe we got some fault on our end. So I'm gonna do some testing with different moisture testers. So I just went ahead, when we tested these, we got 13 something. So in my head, I'm like, well, we'll add 1.5 points and call them, 14.5 or something. But that's still under the limit. They want to try to keep them, not too far above 16. Beans are fairly clean. There's a pod here and there. That's probably from the very low pods near the ground, because it's wet. There's water sitting up there. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that from right here. And not many weeds. Now this field had been mowed for lawn, or bush hog. And if you look out across the field, you can see sage grass coming up. Now that was the funniest thing. But, given its history, I know it's out there. And it didn't hurt anything. Late season, by the time it sprouted through, the beans were well along in their growth cycle. But as you see, like right here at the field edge, we got water sitting. So we're gonna find out just how deep we chisel plowed. And yes, everyone's gonna say, why don't you no-till? That would be fantastic. I'm all about efficiency and getting things done. I like chisel plowing. Disking gets old after a while. But I do know some of the benefits tillage has on weed control. Some neighboring farms have issues with mare's tail. I took on a field that was terribly infested with mare's tail, and we dished it the first spring. We planted corn also, so the corn shaded it out. It wasn't an issue. Planted beans this year, didn't even have to spray. I guess I could have, but I didn't have to. There wasn't enough economic impact from the weeds. And what it was, what weeds I did see, I thought were fairly innocuous. Wasn't cockleburr. Yeah, a handful of smaller things. I saw Pennsylvania smartweed here and there, because you don't see a whole lot of that out in the crop fields. And a couple, okay, there might have been 1 or 2 pokeweeds, but with tillage, you got to take out the roots on pokeweeds because they have a gigantic tuber, Unfortunately, they do not grow GoPro cases, just a gigantic tuber. I think Dad's running in 2nd gear. He's got to be running in 2nd gear. But once he gets in the mud, it might slow him down. Hope not. He's cruising. We'll give you an update on the other TR. We put gas in it. Check the oil, change the oil. And I'm probably just going to focus on corn because its bean head needs a bit more work than just grease and go. Not that I don't have the parts, but by the time I get the beans head all ready to go, I'm hoping with good weather, good luck, and everything else, Dad will have gotten beans done with this one. After this field, I still have 35 more acres, but this field's at least 8 acres, so we're still over 40 right now. Judging how the headlands went up at that end of the field, we're starting on the wetter side. Good beans or dusty beans. If they're not dusty, they're probably not dry enough. Some places where it's wet, I mean, he's not even, like I'm even sinking in. You watch me walk. So it's not, he doesn't have to fight, you know, half solid mud. It's just slop. And this is why I hate our area and taking on dry feet or flat fields. Like the first fields I rented had slope. This one does not. So that's the fun of where I'm at in Southwest Ohio. There's hills real quick, but there's also some plains areas and swamp and crawdad ground. And yes, when I asked these owners about renting their field, I was walking across and there were crawdad mounds everywhere. So hopefully don't scare the crawdads too much by leaving these lovely drainage ditches. Yeah, that's what we'll tell the owners if they ask, that we left them some nice lovely drainage ditches.